Welcome to the Lyfelines Podcast, where science meets strength and real conversations fuel real growth. In today's episode, we're joined by two powerful voices from the world of mixed martial arts and mental resilience. First up is Craig Rutherford, brother of Alistair, who I know very well and goes out with a good friend of mine. He's founder of the raw and inspiring Vagabond Gym. He's got a hell of a story, a space born not just from physical training, but from emotional healing and personal transformation. Craig's journey is definitely one of grit, purpose, and creating sanctuary through struggle. Alongside him is his apprentice, Noah. What a young bloke this guy is. A dedicated coach whose passion for combat sports is matched only by his help to drive others reclaim their confidence, health and sense of self. Together they've built more than a gym, they built a tribe, a home for those battling mental health challenges, finding strength through movement and forging a path to a better life. This is not just a conversation about fitness, it's about fighting back, it's about purpose, power, creating a space where anyone can come to heal, grow and endure. Let's get into it. Let's do a podcast, guys. Look, we've got, I've been looking forward to this for a while. We've got in touch with each other through, well, it's your brother, who's literally like my own brother. I've only met him about 3 times, mate. It feels like we've known each other for years, but you can see why. Gents, introduce yourself.
My name's Craig Rutherford. I've got a gym called Vagabond Gym in Cheltenham. Me and Noah, we're a partnership. We've started a PT studio. We focus on Muay Thai, we focus on boxing, kickboxing, personal training, strength conditioning, that sort of thing.
And I do know, what about you as well? Rather than, I'm joking as well. So we've had a bit of time off camera. We're just like chatting about stuff. Obviously, we've been going hell forever. No, not that it's anything. How old are you?
22.
22. And he's obviously nails, but everything you've just come out with is like super, super intelligent. So just tell everyone a little bit about yourself, mate.
Yeah, so obviously, I know, and I've I wouldn't cast myself as too intelligent. I'm a fighter, and I've been like a martial artist for life, through traditional martial arts and then through MMA more recently. But I did sort of, when I figured out that sport could be a career, I then went down the educational route, went to university and studied sports coaching.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what my goal is now, is to apply that coaching philosophy to the world of martial arts where it's sort of not seen. You
can already say it in things you think, and I think and you guys will tell me because you're the experts here. I just admire the discipline that's combat sports. I'd say, put it broadly. But I think you've got to be intelligent to do what you guys do, right?
In some aspects.
To a degree, it's like BJJ, right, is intelligent, like a violent problem solving, right?
For sure. And one thing I always say when it comes to like the more martial arts side, you have a team behind you. Nobody goes into a fight on their own. There might be some people like that don't have like a corner team or a coach or so on, but they don't do very well. You've got a team behind you. But the difference between an individual sport like MMA or Thai boxing or boxing, you haven't... Playing a team sport, you've got other people on the pitch that you can rely, or whatever the sport is, you've got other people that you can rely on. If you mess up a little bit, you've only got yourself to blame when it comes to an individual sport. So I played rugby at Hartby College, played until I was 18, and then went into martial arts, where you've got to be it's all individual. It's all down to you now. You've got to put the work in. If you get into the cage, the ring, whatever you fight in, or on the mats, you do jiu-jitsu, and you haven't put the work in, it's going to show. You know, if you're not putting the work on a rugby pitch, you can get pulled off subs. And you miss a tackle, you got 14 other people that can make the tackle for you. When the spotlights are on, the cage door closes, or you jump through the ropes, there's no exit now. There's no way, you can't get subs. You know, you got either,
and pride comes in.
Of course, you know, I've had times when I haven't fought loads, but I've fought enough. Where you're in the changing room and you're like, shit, I don't want to be here.
It's got to be normal though, right?
It does.
It's a bit psychotic if you didn't have a sense of nervousness about what was going to happen to you.
Oh no, for sure. And like, you know, you watch Rocky V, right? He's talking to Tommy Gunn. And he talks about the fire burning. Either the fire inside you either control it or it consumes you. And you can get into a position where you're in the back of you're in a changing room warming up. And if you don't warm up right and you don't get that mentality right, and you start making that walk, you're like, there's no exit now. Whereas if I was training and I'm doing a hard spar and I'm like, guys, I don't feel it today, I'm not going to spar. You can pull yourself out of that situation. You make that walk. This is why it's so important to peak at the right time when it comes to fighting, because you got to make that walk, and all of a sudden then you jump in the ropes and you got someone staring at you and wants to take your head off. There's no backing out now. You know, you could back out, but you'd be a bitch. You know. And you just can't.
We hear had who was it recently? Fucking Thingy Ben. He was talking about like how his dad reached out night before, and he was like, "Fucking hell, not now."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not the night before that could start to literally bend my head around. And I mean, there was a whole, it's quite interesting when he opened the car door just before the fight and his dad sat in there. It was pretty sick. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that echoes. How did you guys meet?
You go, Noah?
So, yeah, I sort of moved to Gloucester for university. I'd been a lifetime sort of martial artist doing traditional martial arts, karate since I was a kid.
Yeah.
My karate instructor did a couple of amateur fights. I sort of took to that and I looked up to that and thought, you know what, like MMA is the route I wanted to go down. I was at a time where it was never accessible to me when I was doing karate. MMA was something like only adults did, and it was a bit more raw back then. It was, you had just people sort of going and having scraps and having fun with it. Obviously now when you have like the rise of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and things like that, it's become a lot more feasible. So I moved to Gloucester for university, but I just knew I wanted to get into MMA. I needed somewhere. So found a place quite local, and then started training there for a little while. It was only after about a year of myself training there that Craig was brought in as the gym manager, and he was doing a good job there. I was introduced to him. This is Craig. He's had a bit of experience with the MMA fighters before, and so on. I think I was about, a month away from a fight, my first amateur fight.
It might have been, yeah.
And the coach I had, there was a bit of like issues there. He'd left the gym, and so it was kind of on then Craig and then a couple of other mates and coaches I had around me to corner me that night. Craig then cornered me for my first fight. I trained more. He was running classes and I was training in those. And that was only after a little while, which it was a fire alarm, wasn't it?
We were on a fire drill,
fire drill. We then ended up out the facility, out of the gym, and got chatting. I think Craig said to me just, so what is it you want to do and what to look for? And that's what I kind of said to myself. And I think saying it out loud made me realise actually what I wanted to do, which was, it was the coaching. I've come to Gloucester to learn about coaching. And then from then it was, Craig said to me, okay, I'm running the youth class at the moment, come and shadow me a little bit. And at first I think I rocked up with a notepad and pen ready to take notes, and I think Craig's practical approach was, no, jump in, get involved, like come help me be a bit more like assist in the session rather than just sort of sitting on the sidelines and watching. And so then we did that, and then you moved to Thailand, a year after that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw potential in Noah straight away. He was studying sports coaching at uni. We were 19 at the time, right? So I think you were in your second year? In the second year of uni. And the way I look at it is that you can go and study all this stuff, right? But there's nothing that beats experience. There's nothing that, but you can get all the qualifications in the world you want, but experience is really, like, do I remember half the stuff I learned in my PT course? Absolutely not. Like, I don't remember the insertion and the origin points of the muscles and how the cells work. My clients don't need to know that. It's nice for you to have an understanding about it as a fitness professional, but in the practical setting I'm in, I'm not educating people in like a classroom academically. I'm hands-on with people. But I saw potential in Noah straight away. And I said, look, if you're gonna be studying sports coaching, come and get the hands-on experience now. If you're studying it at uni, you might as well come and do it now. And
dovetail the two.
And I said to him, look, come and do some shadowing. Start by taking little portions of the warm-up, and then I take a bit of a back step, and then I jump in, and then we work together. Then I got to the point where I ended up moving to Thailand. And I said to Noah, like, now there's your opportunity to step in and take these youth classes. And he did for how long? Maybe like a year and a bit?
Just over a year, about a year and a half, close to 2 years.
And that's the experience you need. You need to be on, and like you said earlier on about making content, you've got to get on there and you've got to do it. Because
then I think with this, so I've a history, for those who do watch this a bit, obviously I qualified years ago. PT did military boot camps when I left the army. They were classmates, 6.95 and some boots on me. I used to fill the quarry up with like 50 fucking people, £5 a head at the time. For that. It was really good. But when I think I realised I'd got good, I didn't really like what I was doing because I felt like a therapist.
Right.
Because you're right, there was not the application of going, right, say you move your bicep, or it was more an intricate, like, how do I engage with this person, connect with them for an hour? One, that they trust me. Two, that I can figure out what their pain points are, what's going to trigger them. Like, it'd be good if we were trained together because, you get in my fucking ear, and if I was being a bitch, it'd be something a little bit, could be borderline masculine toxicity, keyboard warriors, but jokes aside, we'd be motivated in a slightly different manner. Same with us too. He's one of the few people I really enjoy training with. But then that's there's never a dull student. It's just, I always say a stupid coach or stupid teacher.
That's
I haven't figured out what they need.
A saying that I always use is if I'm explaining something to somebody, the deadlift, for example, and they can't get it, they don't understand. It's not their fault. It's mine.
Agreed. Yeah.
I need to figure out a way in which they're going to learn.
That's not necessarily taught on your course, is it? When you're trying to understand origin, insertion, and
because obviously you go and do the PT courses, and it's very black and white. They need you to pass the course.
Exactly.
And
I need to be safe, competent, and
I mean, I did 6 weeks of PT, a week of nutrition, and 6 weeks of massage.
Yeah,
it's not enough really to know, to be hands. You've got to be a people person.
It's a bit like driving, though, right?
Yeah.
You don't fucking learn to drive until you really get in the car on your own and shoot yourself.
Exactly. There's no one next to you. You've got to figure out, that there is no one's going to put a stop brake on for you on the other side of the car if you do things wrong. You've got to learn how to do it on your own, in a sense. So.
And how did you find that then when he just threw you in the deep end?
You know what? I think I took to it fairly well. For me, it was.
You're still here, mate, so you must have done it. You know what I mean?
For me, I'd never. I think going through traditional martial arts and the karate route, I never, when it came to what my area was, which was martial arts, I never sort of feared that. I didn't have like a lack of confidence. For me, it was just like about learning then little aspects like. Craig told me very early on that you've got to project your voice, you've got to be heard as a coach, and that was something that was okay. Like,
presence,
I think 100%.
Yeah, sometimes you'd probably purposely turn the music up louder just so I had to be louder. Just little things like that. Where now I'm a very vocal coach and I'm very loud and made sure that I'm heard and that I'm clear with my instructions and stuff and coaching.
Do you know what? Not to intervene because I love these sorts of conversations. Is I understand. I'm well aware of your past at rugby. You lot are all as humble as shit when you say this, but it's a decent level of rugby, high level of rugby.
I didn't play too high. I played at Hartbury.
Oh, but that is in my knowledge. That's still that's a quality group of.
It was. Yeah, I mean, Hartbury's a full-time rugby.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Will. Will came in and took my place. We had a joke about it. He came down, and he went on to play good level rugby.
Yeah, and then got beaten up by a horse.
And is that what happened?
Yeah, no, he got his knee dislocated, didn't he?
Was that? Oh,
when the horse took out his knee.
Oh, is it a horse? Is it?
Yeah, he was. He said he was his missus. He was walked back to the yard. I think he got back from Oz. He was going to Oz, or I think his missus. Well, I might be getting some of this wrong, Will, but they had a horse yard.
Oh, okay.
And he had to dive in the way of the horse, and the horse fucking kicked him.
That scar on his leg?
Yeah, mate, it's a hell of a scar.
I don't deal with horses.
Cleaned his knee straight out, mate. His knee's like this.
I've said this many a time. I don't fuck around with horses. They scare the shit out of me. I'm not going anywhere near them.
You can't be like, nah.
They're too big and powerful.
Yeah,
for me. But yeah, Will went on to play rugby. I actually popped my shoulder out on the pitch when I was about 18, and I popped it back in myself. And I just remember after that, I was like, I'm done with this.
Really? And then you thought of going to combat or combat sports.
Then I found MMA. Yeah, and I tell you now, I got injured.
So logical, mate. I'm really good to see that.
Well, the thing is, so in my my first MMA fight, I got armbarred. I didn't tap, and he snapped my arm.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fucking.
So I'll show you the picture at some point. Yeah.
No, you won't. No, I think Will was trying to get at me.
It didn't break the skin, but basically my arm was like a pingo wing, right? It was up here.
Yeah, he said,
and I went to actually post up. I went to like get myself up, and then I was like, why can't I? I ain't got no voluntary control over my arm. It was just floppy, and I realised he'd snapped my arm, and he rotated the forearm. So he caught me in an arm bar. And then I didn't tap, I picked it. So he was on his back, and his legs were around my face. And he's got my arm over his hip. So I picked him up, and as I picked him up, all that weight was on my arm. Now you can see I can't straighten my elbow. But I've still been injured less in MMA, I'd say, in combat sports than I have in rugby.
Agreed.
Rugby's brutal.
But I think it's such a... Like some of my close friends who left the army were rugby people. I just think you've got a different mentality. I was in the military at 16.
Yeah.
Doing just like around some super weird people.
When you got some 6'6" guys running at you, and like 100 kilos, 120 kilos, whatever it may be, and you got to like put your body on the line to tackle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, I played... So one of my oldest friends was first team captain of Shrewsbury.
Okay.
He's had about 300 caps now. It's like fucking a bit of a running theme. But we played the Oswestry Tens tournament.
Okay. One
summer, and then the lad I live with played at the Wasps at Worcester?
Wasp was London. Wasp.
Who's at Worcester?
Worcester Warriors.
Worcester Warriors was the team.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, he played for them. He's fucking massive, mate. He's about 6'6".
Yeah, they're big dudes.
Like dragged me into the team. I was like, I'm fucking not playing. They'll go on the wing. Mate, I got top try score. I just didn't want to be fucking hit. I remember just getting little lad can pass people just like twice my size.
Yeah.
But then the knocks I had were just a different level. Tried to play we had a cup final on the Sunday, and I was in bits trying to play.
Yeah.
just from the little bits of knocks that you just don't realise at the time.
Week in, week out as well. You
Yeah.
know, and I say to all these guys, is like, you know, if you're gonna fight, it's tough to fight, right? And you go for these fight camps, you go 8-week fight camps.
You're getting battered, right?
You're getting battered for 8
Picking
weeks.
up little injuries.
Yeah, we're looking to put on a sort of a course where people can do a fight camp experience.
Yeah.
So they can, the everyday members
what
of
it
the
is.
public can come in, give a fight camp experience a go. Like, because when you go through a fight camp, it's brutal, right?
Brutal, and obviously from that standpoint, you see changes, you get results because it's, you know, designed to make a certain weight in a certain amount of weeks. So no matter how you spin it, whether you are fighting at the end of it or not, you're going to see a result because you're training hard and and consistent.
Both physically and mentally, gents. I think it's an interesting one for anyone watching this. Like this is some of the points I'm probably trying to emphasise here is the, I think the world is scared of doing hard things right now on quite a macro scale. And it's fundamentally, when you go back to some traditional ways, like the combat sports era, rugby, all these things are generally, you could deem as aggressive, but it's quite a positive outcome from most of it if it's used and harnessed in the right way for you as a person, I think. Yeah. Both physically and mentally.
And I think that's the beauty of doing martial arts, is you can hit pads, you know, you can hit the bag. If you can't really just go and do rugby without, you know, obviously training rugby to get fit. That's not really the reason you do it, you know what I mean? But you could go and do martial arts, never do any sparring. Like some people will come and train when they never want to spar.
Yeah.
They never want to get into the situation of having a fight. Yeah. But they hit pads, they hit the bag, they know all the skills.
So Tai Chi, right?
Tai Chi.
Is that mixed? Would you say it's martial arts or not? Is it not, or am I completely?
It's a strange one, isn't it? There's I think everything you can.
In all this, is it like?
Yeah, it's more like the energy and stuff.
You get
right.
more spiritual things, and then you get obviously more hands-on. It's practical and impractical. Is the way I divide it. Is you get martial arts that are very practical.
Nice.
And it's like a spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you just fade away where you get things that are like Olympic martial arts, which are great, like spectating.
Yeah.
But would it work in MMA where you have everything mixed together? Probably not. And then you've got stuff like your Tai Chi, which again, if someone is getting out of bed to go and do Tai Chi every Saturday morning, you got props for them, fair play. But again, you're not going to be stopping someone who's going to say want to beat you up.
Yeah, he's coming in for the clinch, like.
I used to live in Singapore. And you'd see, like, because Singapore is very sort of Chinese and Malaysian, but they're elders, right? And you'd walk by in the morning, and then there's like 70-year-olds doing and 80-year-olds doing Tai Chi in the park and stuff.
Because there's a lot. I mean, I've tried to fuck about with it. Like some of the positions you hold, it's a bit like yoga. Is it like probably an extension of yoga in it to do with some of the breathing techniques, the moves you get in?
I've never done it. I've never done yoga either. I need to start really doing some yoga.
You'd be fucked with that elbow.
Oh yeah, more than likely. Yeah, to be fair, I wouldn't mind getting some yoga in the gym. Really,
I make massive fans. So I know when we started to speak last week about what I want to do with the brand itself, so we want to start working with people in certain niches. One of my best friends, she's a massive yogi. Now, mate, I've carry energy crystals around me and all sorts of shit now, but I kind of believe in it. It's one of the hardest sessions I sat in. I don't think I went back because she outplanked me. I was like, this is fucking terrible. And she's got a microphone on. I was like, in the mirror, and you're like looking around the whole room, and she's like fucking still moving on the mic. But yeah, incredible.
Have you said you've done any martial arts?
A little bit. So we kickboxed, rolled the mats when we were first in the army. I remember I said to you, we used to go back. I used to drive back on a Sunday back to camp, and we watched the first, all the UFC stuff. What was the first house they did? What was it called? The UFC series?
The Ultimate Fighter.
Ultimate Fighter. Yeah. So, and then we boxed a bit. So, but nothing of note. This is something I definitely own. Is I'm well competitive.
Yeah.
And I'm not. It's really, and it's the only reason. I think. I mean, if I had to fight someone on a night out, which is not impressive, but I've never really.
Who can fight drunk realistically?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's awful. But I think when I've always people have said to do it in a ring, I'll be honest on camera and say one of the biggest things I respect about anyone who's going and doing it is that I just couldn't lose.
Yeah.
It's not about getting beat. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Do what you want. I've raced motocross. I've had my jaw broke, fucking all sorts, hands a lot. But it's the losing in such a public space. I think that would get in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I've been TKO'd in one of my fights, and it dents your pride a little bit.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to. I will say that here. It is my pride.
Yeah,
but I don't want to say it's my pride because I feel it's a weak characteristic for someone like myself to have.
Yeah,
but I'll be open and honest about it. It's definitely to my pride.
No, it would be.
I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a sport where you don't want to come second. Like, the martial arts game. If you're going to get in and compete, you don't want to come.
It's just losing. I just hate losing.
Yeah.
And it's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That I wouldn't go and do something. It's not the fear of getting whacked. It's like losing.
So in the sense of like, then if you said about losing, if you went and did a marathon, you come second, would you class that as losing?
Exactly. I wouldn't.
No?
No. But
Yeah.
in the ring, I would.
But yeah, because you can't come second in the ring.
No. Weird.
That is losing.
Yeah.
There's only two of you. Well,
Yeah.
three would call the referee.
Yeah.
If you come third, then the referees come
Yeah,
before
he's
you.
I might just crack the ref just so he goes on the way back.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's quite an odd. And I raced motocross competitively for years.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the racing. Obviously played football, but it's weird. The ring stuff was more. It's odd. I don't know.
And
you
this
must
is
come
why-
across this in what you do when you're with people, surely.
Yeah, and we were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about you got approached by a mindset coach, didn't you?
Yeah.
And there's these, there's people out there that are, sports psychologists that work with like fighters and stuff. Because
Yeah.
I've seen situations where they could be no skill guy in the gym,
And then
but
they
you
go
put
to
them in the
shit.
ring and everything just goes.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You see some guys, they're not the best in the gym, but you put them in the ring
Boom,
and
they're at home.
they just go.
Yeah.
you know? So we were talking about it yesterday about like sports psychology. Realistically, the game of fighting is all mental. Like not all mental, but it's a very
They say
very
you
strong part
can't
of
be
it.
fighting full of emotion, right? Because you make terrible decisions and stuff, right?
Yeah, and again, it's like going back to that whole Rocky Balboa thing or Rocky 5, where he talks
Great
to Tommy Gunn, and he says you either let the fire consume you, that there's a fire burn, and you ever let it consume you, or you control it and you use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
And that comes down to even just having an adrenaline dump before you go out.
Yeah.
Having a good warm up, making sure you got the right people in your corner, make sure that you're switched on.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot that goes into it. People would be like, fight spectator on the sofa. They'd be watching it on the sofa and
With no idea of all that.
Yeah, he got dropped by a body shot. It's like, if you've never taken a body shot, don't say
yeah,
anything.
mate, yeah.
Just don't say anything.
How do you not get? Well, no one like jumps push bikes or gets winded anymore, do they? Like, do you know what I mean? How
No,
many kids
no.
at this age, when you've been winded,
If you get
a little knock.
you get hit in the liver. Right, there's a liver shot. You get hit in the liver, and it just paralyzes you.
Done.
It's literally it.
We
will
see
shut your
boxers
body
just
down.
drop,
Yeah.
on the knee, and they're like, "Got weight."
It does because the liver's a bag of toxins.
Yeah.
And you hit the liver, and it just bursts into your body, and there's no way to describe it. It comes as delayed reaction. You'll get hit, you'll feel the contact,
And then-
about a second later, you're like, your whole breath goes, and you'll see them take a knee.
Yeah, they do. They take a knee.
They're trying to fight it. Like, no, you can't. You
Yeah,
get hit with a well-placed liver shot. It's very painful.
Yeah.
And this is what people don't realise, the conditioning. Like, I would class myself right now as fit.
Yeah.
I can hit the pads, I can lift, I can do the multifaceted movements, I could go and hit a run. Could I fight tomorrow? Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's
your body
different.
needs to be fight conditioned.
Yeah.
And that's you taking body shots in Muay Thai.
Silly things like when you're kicking each other.
Yeah.
Is that, everyone walk past the table and hit your shin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's on the table.
And obviously
And
within-
when you two are trading,
Yeah. Being fight conditioned is a whole different game.
Yeah.
And when you see these guys, and like Noah said, you go for a fight camp,
Yeah.
and you're coming into, normally a fight camp's about 8 weeks.
Yep.
If you time it right, it's about 8 weeks. The idea is to peak at the last week.
Yeah.
You're trying to cut weight. You're going into the gym where sometimes you might do something called a shark tank. So as you're getting closer towards your fight, you'll stay in the middle every
Everyone comes in and
minute.
out.
You get a fresh partner every minute.
Yep.
So you're getting more fatigued. They're fresh.
Yeah.
And they're picking up your weaknesses, and you've got to survive at that point.
Yeah.
It can be a brutal. It can be a brutal experience, and this is what we're trying to do now: is say to people, look, you don't have to. We're trying to open up Muay Thai and these things to the masses.
Yeah.
You don't need to necessarily get punched and kicked.
No.
There's going to be so many people that want to come in and train and not fight, and there's going to be people that want to fight.
To your point, we used to do. I can't remember what the gym was. Anytime Fit now. It was an old Fitness First.
Yeah.
And we used to do literally an old-fashioned, like, bit of a kickboxing session where you'd partner with someone, but then it would be like 20, it'd be 40 of us, it'd be 20 pairs, and you'd literally be able to, like, just do some pad work. You could drag, like, down the set of pads, the other side you may be kicking.
Yeah.
And it was like that was, and then chucking a few loops of the gym car park or something, some press-ups.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anywhere around here that's doing any sort of stuff like that. And I just used to enjoy it because it was a blend of just smashing some pads with some friends, blended in with a little bit of cardio, some basic calisthenics stuff, basic push-ups and things. That was quite nice.
And we're talking about this as using like Muay Thai as therapy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Using have you heard these smash rooms? Is it called?
Like demolition rooms.
Yeah, where you just go and smash like an oven up or something.
You go in,
Shout.
and you just smash concrete
Yeah, I'm not
or
into
whatever
that.
it
This
may
sounds
be.
better than that.
Or
Sounds-
sledgehammer, smashing stuff up and stuff. And I think they're getting quite popular. And I can't remember the term they use to describe them. But what we're trying to say is look, You know, yeah, you could go into a gym, hit the bag, you could do that yourself, but many people are not going to want to be surrounded by loads of people if they don't know how to hit the bag properly.
Yep, agreed.
And I just think, especially as men, and we got a lot of women training in the gym as well, and a lot of women now are doing a lot of kickboxing and Muay Thai with me. They're seeing the benefits of it.
Yeah, I've seen some of your stuff.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that's we talk about sort of content creation. We're trying to figure out right now what works well with hitting numbers and just what are people interested in. What are people going to... You put a minute video up on Instagram and you look at the engagement and the average watch time is 9 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going for an attention span thing now with TikTok and the Reels. And
2016, I was with Monster Energy. We'd just flown out to some Catalonia with Coke. We're doing a conference. The average dwell time, I think that's when the app, the fucking Instagram reel come out, because that's like a roulette reel. That was designed on purpose. So like that's addictive.
Oh, yeah.
1.6. Within 6 weeks, it was 0.6. Right. Dwell time. That was 2016.
Yeah, mad.
But we were talking a lot of Cam about how this is, and I hear all that. You know, you spoke briefly about your invested in the Jane Smith stuff, who I seriously rate in this space.
Yeah,
we're in our community. I think
his numbers prove that, right?
Rugby player as well, so he's a bit of a lad.
Yeah,
dabbled with it on and off of gear, and is honest about it.
Yeah,
so
travelled as well.
Which
I think is a massive part.
huge
part.
He's not egotistical, but super confident.
Yeah,
can fucking pull people apart respectfully with a good bit of wit and banter, which I think is what's interesting, which he's doing. So he's unpicking some of the terrible things that I think this industry can have, especially in the bodybuilding side. I mean, the bodybuilding, let's be honest, most of it's disorders in serious disguises.
You've got to look. I mean, I've got good bodybuilding friends, like high level.
So you've just been to Stroma in the corner. They're full of them in there.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, Lee Powell, ex IFBB pro, he's competed on stage with Jay Cutler and so on. He owns a local gym in Gloucester.
Really?
A gym called the Church of Pain. Used to be an old church.
Yeah.
I think maybe since the 80s it's been a gym, and it's created some champions, powerlifting champions.
Yeah.
You know, it's the old school spit and sawdust gym.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of respect for Lee, because he's the pinnacle of a bodybuilder, and he's the old school bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the new age of bodybuilding, where they're all
just look the same
and stuff like that. And also he described two things. He said, it used to be in the days of like Dorian Yates, and I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm not, but he said, like, in the days of Dorian Yates, and Dorian Yates being a world class, phenomenal bodybuilder. Yep. He said you wouldn't let anyone see you until you stepped on stage. Like, you would wear big baggy clothes all year round. If no one can see your physical shape until you step, and if you take your shirt off and you get on stage, you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Whereas now we live in a world where people have put a progress picture up every day of their, so when they do step on stage, it's like, well, I've seen you on your social media. But another thing he mentioned the other week, where he put a status up saying bodybuilding is the same monotonous bullshit week in, week out, day in, day out for 30 years. This is how you get good at it.
Yep.
You've got to make sure everything's on point every day, and it's not exciting.
Marginal gains.
Yeah, literally.
Discipline, consistency of monotony.
Exactly. And that's what it takes.
And being uncomfortable, being comfortable, uncomfortable.
Being comfortable, being uncomfortable, yeah. So he talks about that. A mate of mine, Luke Etheridge, very good Olympic weightlifter.
But I think, not to derail that, just to set on the bodybuilding system, because my comment about it is like, that is where I do believe there's a degree of, where I think it's okay. Not that I'm saying I'm welcome to my opinion, but I just think it's a healthy version of bodybuilding, because it's not, people going out for 2 years and expecting to do crazy things. It's like the shit you see them putting their bodies through is like not healthy.
Yeah.
I think the old school fashion way, whereas if it's a progression of as they've been, where it's consistent.
Yeah.
People looking for huge weight loss stuff and don't understand the implications of trying too hard on that if you're not ready for it.
Well, you're seeing all this new weight loss stuff with, was it Ozempic?
Manjaro.
Manjaro.
What's your lens on that?
To be honest with you, I'm oblivious to it. I haven't actually looked into it. I don't really know what it's about. It popped up out of nowhere. This Ozempic popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's like a fat loss.
So it controls hormones. Do you know much about it, Noah? Or?
Not massively.
Yes, fucking thought he was going to come out with something, and I thought he was going to tell me all about it.
No, for sure. You tell me, because I'm quite oblivious to it.
No, so we don't know loads. So, but it's an interesting topic that Gaz and I quite enjoy, and especially when you share it with fitness professionals, because I think fundamentally we share the same opinion. It's a good thing to be around. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie. It's like a bit Joe Rogan. It's Gad. It controls ghrelin, right, which is your hormone around appetite. Hunger. Yeah. So fundamentally, it's stopping something that it's going to really stop you putting food in your mouth. I think, and it dawned on me when we were sitting with Mrs. 6 or 7 months ago with a lady in the hot tub at Valentine's, loads of people in there, and then she's enjoying this. She's lost a 6 stone, like she's big.
Yeah.
But she's getting smaller.
Yeah.
Notoriously, I'm listening to it, and it's like you could see her fingernails look shite, her hair's and bare, skin's terrible. And I'm like, start all this. I'm very open about the way I think. I was quite fattest to a point. Some people probably say I would, but I've got a real appreciation for it's not just about exercise and food.
Yeah.
Hormones play a space. Cortisol with stress. I mean, fucking stressed all the time.
Yeah.
So I've kind of shifted, and I always will. Like, show me some evidence, and I'll pivot my position. But I kind of walked away thinking, do you know what? It's great she's doing it. Her final sentiment was something to do with pancreatic cancer and that. And I was like, fucking hell, love. The irony of it was, and it's okay, is her focus should be just enjoy the fact you get your 6 stone smaller.
Yeah.
Like, there is some success to be celebrated. But then got into, remember coming back and saying to you, like, well, she didn't really know much else about it and was straight in a rabbit hole of a load of misconceptions in probably a substance that's not well studied at the moment.
That's what I was about to say. How much study is in this?
Pancreas necrosis is known, I think.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, we knew it. Well, I mean, any of the things, there's never a simple fix to this stuff, is it? If you're
No.
doing something exogenously to the body, something...
Told you he was clever than me.
Something always goes wrong.
Goes
Yeah.
wrong.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
it just took a while. And this
To come out.
Pancreas damage now is last week.
So pancreas damage is a thing, but before that, I was like, right, okay, if it is, let's worry about the damage that you've done to yourself. So we do a lot with diabetes. I've created the first training solution that's mixed with education, certification, and awareness. So we've got a deal, a partnership, should I say, with the Diabetes Safety Organisation, because I got to a point like, right, you could sit on my soapbox, we could try and moan about it, stuff on here, it's not going to make any difference.
Yeah.
Education's big, we're not coining the topic very well. So then you look at the fact, well, diabetes, 700 people a day are diagnosed with diabetes. That's probably growing every day. 190 amputations a week, 500 heart attacks, 13.9 million people are pre-diabetic. By 2040, they suggested the numbers, it's going half the population have diabetes.
Yeah.
That overshadows pancreatic cancer for me, or whatever we want to call it at the moment. You know, one problem at a time. But then it's like, what are the protocols? Because all we know, and you guys have been in there on camps. When you stop eating, what happens? Your immune system fucking jumps on its ass because it's not got any micronutrition. So for those watching that don't watch any of this micronutrition, vitamins and minerals. Mm-hmm. So I was like, why is there no, and we asked the question, where's the protocol suggestions when the doctor gives you, no, it comes to me, here's your jab. Cool, we know it works. Here's one of the implications. Let's not use it for fucking 40 years.
Yeah.
Let's use it to shift the weight because it's a great immediate response to get you out of a diabetic situation, which is fundamentally not cool with hypos and stuff. Yeah. And why is there not a protocol of, right, go and buy yourself an electrolyte drink? If you do need one, we do sell them. I'm joking. Go buy
every time.
Go buy yourself an electrolyte product and then high dose protein in the diet. Like, it doesn't seem there's any. And if you talk about the logic of what you're doing with someone, it's like when, Strom, always quote him for being the first person that's openly used to talk quite a lot and made some of the best products for managing health markers when you're assisted.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to do. We could tell each other not to do things all the fucking time. Tell me not to do something. I'm 42 and I'll go and do it.
Yeah.
I haven't grown up in that sense. So I just believe it's the protocols with these that haven't been managed.
I guess my approach to it would be more on the lines of like, I think it's a case of why are people putting on the weight they're putting on.
Okay, like it.
And I guess it comes down to the food quality and the stuff that goes. And convenience has gone up since everyone has to work more. So everyone's life now is hard to get by now. Yep. People got 2 jobs, or they're working 10-hour, 12-hour days, and they got to get the kids, and they got to do the kids' school lunch.
Shit.
Yeah, the sleep's bad. We're constantly on our phones, so we're getting that. The red, or what's in the light in the phones when you
blue light, which is isn't it a dopamine? Doesn't it stimulate dopamine response, which keeps you awake?
And most people are going to be in bed flicking through reels and stuff. Yeah. So like the quality of, so for me, who's somebody trained for 20 plus years, I know what goes into keeping myself fit, and I know how to get results, and that's controlling what I eat in a sense. And I'm not a big eater, for example.
Same.
I like a lot of fasting. I like the 3-day, 72-hour fast. I've done 4 of them now, I think.
Have you?
And we're thinking about putting it on as like a monthly weekend. The first weekend of each month, we do it as a gym challenge.
Nice.
So you do 36 or 72-hour fast.
And what does that walk us through? Just not to derail it, but what's that like?
So the first, I'd say, I class it as like a toddler, right? A toddler, like your stomach being like a toddler. When it's hungry, it'll groan and it'll growl and it's painful and it says, I want food. Mm. So when you give that when you get that through that hunger pang of about 20 to 30 minutes, it goes. Mm. It's like basically silencing the inner voice in your body's going, I need food now, so I'm going to create this pain in my stomach which makes me want food. You ignore that and you go through it and you have the discipline to go through it. Mm. it becomes quite, I'm not going to say easy, because you do have moments where you feel a bit like, oh, you know, you just, why am I doing this? I want to go and eat. But after 72 hours, you feel great.
Yeah, I bet. Did you ever see the series with Chris Hemsworth on Netflix where they did like a 7-part series? He ends up doing this. He did a bit where they walked at the Symphony Tower and they controlled a bit like when you would probably go into the ring, control your external emotions. Like he's at height and your extremities just fucking shit themselves because you overbreathe. Yeah. And your body panics and it just goes, right, fight or flight, and it pulls all the blood away from your legs. Yeah. And that's why your legs go numb because it thinks it's protecting your heart. And it was quite interesting. It moved into a piece where he did the fasting stuff and they ended up at the end of 72 hours. They got them wired up to everything. It's quite a nice place to look and watch this if you don't know much. And he shot his own fish. Right. But he was at moments of ketosis, especially when he was trying to catch a fish. Yeah. He was fucking knackered getting in the water, and he said there's something in him, just got an explosion of ketosis, and it was like talking about how that's how we used to be before we had access to food as we do. The convenience of it, yeah. I mean, you could sit on your sofa now, order a pizza, and it'll be there in 20 minutes. You don't have to move. Hopefully a little bit quicker. Yeah, joking. If it's not there for free, we have to get it free normally. But it's crazy the convenience we've gone through. But most ancient religions most religions point to some form of fasting. Which is huge. Which here's the ironic thing: I've never taught that as a kid. No, I used to hear some of it and think, why are they just not eating anything? But then food. But we were eating cereal as a kid, with a bowl full of sugar. Yeah, exactly. And they expected them to have kids in a classroom having an attention span when they've just eaten a bowl of sugar. Yeah, there's some studies recently done, isn't there? They've removed like high glycemic index carbohydrates from kids, and autism disappeared at like a rate of 54%. Is it really? Was it really autism, or was it just the fact you fired a kid up? I'll tell you, 100%. I'll tell you one guy that I like watching is RFK Jr. In America. Big fan of him. And going into, was he the head? Look at the state of him, for Christ's sake. Yeah, he's jacked. He's jacked. Was he like 70? Killing snakes. Yeah. And like, fundamentally, it's got to be something there that says for it. Do you know what I mean? Well, some of the things that I'm not following exactly what he's doing by the T, but he's removing a lot of the dyes. Yeah, he's already done it. Yeah, the FDA. Because if you look at a product in America compared to the food labels compared to what we got in the UK, they're worlds apart. Even from Canada, you know. So what America get fed? So they've got like their McDonald's ingredient panel had something like 19 more ingredients than any other country in the world. Mad. And yet McDonald's is from America, which is nuts. And you've been to America? Have you been to America? Yeah, Atlanta, not a huge amount. Chicago, that's it. Once or twice. And without sounding harsh or anything like that, but the size of people. Oh, mate, yeah. But then look at the drink sizes. Look at the serving sizes. Everything's bigger out there. It's fucking huge. I got a good friend, Shay Mills. He fought in the UFC. Yes, I remember that. So I was in his corner for that. But we got invited over to Black Zillions, which is now what they called now. What's Henry Hoof's gym, like tomorrow. Killcliff? No. Is it Killcliff now? It might be Killcliff. Killcliff. So at the time it was called the Black Zillions. Right. And so Shay fought in the UFC. I remember. Got knockout of the night bonus in his first fight. Was sponsored by a company called Jacko, Jaco. They were a clothing, like a fight brand. Right. And then got a phone call from the owner of Jacko and said, I didn't realise we sponsored you. Do you want to come over and do because he had also the Black Zillions training gym. Right. So you had Rashad Evans, you had, if these people make any sense to anyone listening, but Rashad Evans, Anthony Johnson, who's now dead, unfortunately died 2 years back, but you had Edson Barbosa, Eddie Alvarez, like all these guys were training from this gym. So we went over and trained, and just dropping Eddie Alvarez on the podcast is so fucking cool. Tom, you're definitely putting that up. I sparred with I knew this was. I was going to say that. It was a wrestling session, and obviously being from the UK, I heard you fucked him up. I'm joking. Don't tell him that. He didn't say that. No, but so obviously being from the UK, our wrestling pedigree isn't anything like it is out in America. They wrestle from high school and juniors and so on. So their wrestling pedigree is amazing. Yeah. So we went out there. We did a wrestling session, and I wrestled with Eddie Alvarez, and he was just immensely strong. Really? Yeah, hugely strong. Yeah. But going back to the sort of like, so we went out to Florida to do some training. We went to a chain of restaurants called Cracker Barrels, right? So it was your southern food, like your grits, your oats, the stuff you see on like all the TV shows. You're like, what would it be? Like macaroni, or like the southern fried chicken and all this sort of stuff. Tastes amazing. We basically we ordered some food and it came out as like a main, but they come out 3 sides. But the sides was big as what a main would be here. It's nuts, isn't it? So we went back to because it was right outside the hotel. Went back to the same restaurant the next day. We had to ask them to bring less food.
And they were like, well, we can't, you're not going to get charged unless we just can't eat the amount of food you're bringing out. And then you see the size of the people in the restaurant. You're like, wow. Like you guys are big. Because it might not be so much the food quality, I'm sure it is, but
it's a mix of both. Well, they've only just classified the fucking egg in the FDA. So the FDA is what the food thingy authority over there. They've only just classed an egg as a nutritious item.
Like, you look at the old school food pyramid.
Yeah, it's the wrong way up. He's already uncovered that, hasn't he? Jordan Peterson said grain should not be at the bottom.
No, 100%. No, 100%. And I think obviously we're going back to like the old Olympic and going back to the I guess the person who lost 6 kilos. You say
6 stone?
6 stone.
Yeah.
In what period of time?
Oh, it was quick. It had been like 6 weeks or something.
It was good, man.
It was like, but you think people are just not eating?
Yeah.
So like. It's like doing a hunger strike in a fucking prison. Like, Gaz used to be a prison warden, so that's the closest thing I could think about.
When Peter Attia said they're actually getting fatter.
Oh, yeah.
More muscle mass than body fat.
Right.
So they're getting lighter.
Yeah.
The body fat percentage is actually going up.
Right.
So they look like shit.
Yeah, versus how big they are.
Yeah.
And this is why in my mind, like I've said this many times, I'm not a fucking like a doctor or anything, but fundamentally I'm like, right, no intake. If like you guys, the fight game's the perfect one. Who's the guy that's got the hydration brand that does all the weight cuts? He does some really informative, like tutorials and just clips on basically how you rehydrate a fighter.
I'm not sure. Is he an ex-fighter or
no, he's not. He's an Aussie, an Aussie nutritionist.
Not sure.
Can't think of his name, but he does some really interesting ones. Then you lot are like doing weight cuts of like just how you have to play with the food intake again, and then the introduction of fluids and electrolytes. You can't just flood the body. It's like, right, we already know what the body needs away from macronutrition. It's micronutrition to keep you fucking here.
Yeah.
And your nails nice and healthy, and your thought process good.
And this is going back to the whole sort of Ozempic thing. Is like if it's taken you 10, 15 years to put the weight you've put on, 100%. And you've lost it in 6 weeks, or you've lost a big portion of it in 6 weeks, it's not and I would say to people, if it's taking you 10, 15 years to put it on, it should be taking you a few years to get it off.
Yeah. Was it £2 a week for healthy weight loss? And that's of actual weight.
Yeah. And then also, it's a case of, again, going back to like, what is their relationship with food? You're saying like most people.
You're into habits now, aren't you?
Say again, sorry?
You're into looking at someone's habitual programming, like what's the reliance on it, which I agree with.
And you said earlier on, the stress of people, the cortisol levels, and also just the lack of education around food.
Yeah, and choices.
Yeah,
so you've watched. There's all sorts come up. I think there's one that stuck up recently about some rather large twins in America, and they're just drinking Coca-Cola, and bless them, they have fucking no idea what's in it. And you're like, well, they just, we can snigger at it all we like, but I realise, you're like, it's probably not.
But also, it comes down to the costs as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's some families out there that are struggling, and you can go to farm foods and buy 30 chicken frozen nuggets.
It's all yellow plate
for £1.
Yeah.
Whereas like a good steak, a good farm grass-fed steak costs you £7 or £8.
Yeah, exactly.
And that'll feed one person.
Yeah.
So, and also you go into some shops and a litre of Coke is cheaper than a litre of water.
Yeah,
so how does that happen?
It's nuts, isn't it?
It
is nuts.
So again, it comes down to, I mean, there's a lot of it will be nutrition.
Yep.
And again, what's the reason for, what's the cause of them eating the stuff they're eating? We had a meeting with 2 chaps yesterday that own a business doing like what's called alternate provisions or enrichment, where they take the sort of troubled kids out of school.
Yep.
And that's something that we're trying to sort of venture into now.
Nice.
Is using martial arts as a means that these kids can get out of school.
Yeah.
Use it, and Noah said it perfectly yesterday. Is you're getting fit and you're getting healthy. Sometimes not even realising it. You start hitting pads.
Yeah, because you're not thinking of it. It's like running after a football.
Yeah.
I used the football on a Thursday night because I can't be asked to go and do long runs anymore.
And that's why sports are so great, because you're playing some sort of game or it's a skill.
Yeah.
You just
and it's generally more functional. What you're doing is like building things. It's not that isometrical or one dimensional.
Or you just run on a treadmill for 10 minutes. You can understand why people just don't want to just go and do training or go and get fit because I've got to run or I've got to sit on the rower for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And when you're talking about how to learn, they're learning something as well. They're cognitively engaged.
Yeah.
I think it's different. So look, we could sit here for ages, but the real bits is I want people to know a little bit more about the Vagabond.
Yeah.
So I think we've fucking covered loads about your past, but talk about Vagabond, mate, because there's a story behind this which I quite like, and then what you guys are looking to build out from, because that's the important thing.
Yeah, we've been talking about this recently, and like, so the name Vagabond, and everyone else says to me, like, what's a vagabond?
Wait for this when he tells you his fucking music choice.
Yeah.
Put his brother up, who's a fucking sick DJ.
Yeah, and he is a good DJ as well. He doesn't like the music I listen to.
I don't think many people do. I'm going to get hammered for that.
Hey, listen, Metallica.
I'm joking.
So Metallica are probably one of the biggest rock bands in the world right now. And so the term vagabond is a nomad, right? Is a wanderer. And because I've done a bit of backpacking, I haven't done the backpacking of 20, 30 years ago where you would literally put a map in a backpack and go off and find out your own way. With the technology these days, it's so easy to backpack and explore the world.
Yeah.
And people are not doing it and living in a bubble. Listen, everyone's got their own right to do whatever they want. But if you've never really gone outside of your own country or outside, or just gone to Europe on a all-inclusive holiday, you have not seen the world. Like and
it does benefit you then positively.
Hugely.
From a perspective, a mindset, I suppose you can be quite appreciative of the world we live in over here.
Yeah, and I guess for me, the Eastern philosophy and going to the Southeast Asia and spending a lot of time in Thailand's got my heart. Like, Thailand is an amazing place. It really is. I talk about Thailand all the time.
Yeah,
you'll go down the street, people bow at you. They'll bow. The respect, the culture, the way that they are. I think it aligns with my values more than the Western values do.
Yeah.
And so the term vagabond basically got birthed out of the fact of there's a song by Metallica called Wherever I May Roam.
Yeah.
And as part of that, he says rover, wanderer, nomad, vagabond. And I just liked that name. And I started playing around with the name, trying to do different things with it. The reason it got chosen as the name is because no one's going to attribute Vagabond to a gym. We are called Vagabond Gym. That is our name of our gym. But hopefully the term Vagabond becomes an umbrella and things can sort of pop off from that.
Yeah. It becomes the brand of choice for the vehicle. I think it's evident from this. You've got a lot of knowledge and experience that has probably been anchored in physical sport, combat sports, seeing the world.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really smart, mate. And that's what you're trying to do now, is embed and pass on some of all this learning through the medium of exercise and
for sure
and martial arts.
Yeah. Obviously, being in Thailand for so long, Thai boxing is their national sport.
Yeah.
So most people know what Thai boxing is. You look at a tuk-tuk driver and he's been training for 20 years, you know, and he might have been fighting for 20 years. That's their national sport. And I believe using martial arts, especially Muay Thai, because I just love the discipline of it, the respect, the culture, the spirituality of it as well. Using that to engage people to get, even just whether it is to get fit. And I said before, we're looking at maybe involving like more troubled kids, trying to get them in, learning that you don't need to be an asshole to be someone who can hit pads and can be relatively tough.
Yeah.
You can use that as a way of, okay, the more you know how to fight, the more you don't need to actually use it.
Yeah, that's evident. It's talked about a lot.
I'm a doorman. I've worked at doors for on and off for probably since I was 20, 36 now. So I've always done a bit of door work.
Yeah.
And knowing that knowing that you could manhandle someone who's drunk, like, and you can make a show of them, what's the point really? Like, you don't need to. You can go in if you want to go and assert your dominance, go into a boxing ring or go into a boxing gym, put some gloves on, put a head on, and go and have a spar with someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
it's normally an internal reflection of quite an unhappy person, I guess.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Externalization of an internal feeling.
I've worked with doormen who all they want to do is have a power trip and they want to bully people.
You can fucking tell them a mile off as well.
You can tell them a mile off.
You fucking tell them a mile off.
Yeah.
Going, oh God.
So the direction of where we're trying to create a brand in centered around martial arts, but we've got the way our gym's set up is, I'd say just under 2/3 of it is the martial arts section.
Yep.
Then we've got a squat rack and we've got a functional fitness area where there's a treadmill. We've got 2 bikes, a ski erg, a rowing machine.
Yep.
Barbells, and so we can still do the functional fitness side of it. And the beauty of getting getting people like kids in to help them to get fitter. And we were talking earlier on about nutrition. A lot of these kids don't know what to eat.
No.
Especially when they haven't got parents who teach them or
they just don't know.
Yeah,
it's a miss, isn't it? Massively on a massive scale.
So the direction we're trying to go in now is become more than just every gym is doing PT, every gym's doing classes, every gym's doing sort of like the functional fitness stuff now. We were talking earlier on off camera about how CrossFit and Hyrox has come into the market now.
Yeah.
And CrossFit is the sport of fitness.
Yeah.
It was known as the sport of fitness.
Yeah, it was.
And then Hyrox is now really
an evolution that's become inclusive to that space, which is great.
100%.
But the answer to yours, not to cut you off, I suppose, to add weight to what you do, and I believe is something like this. It's like it's like fucking sports like fashion.
Yeah.
or exercises like fashion to a degree, which is not, I think, quite unhealthy. I think the high rocks thing has been something I personally deem as a massive benefit for the fitness community. But I think there is elements of this where you could start to blend. And let's look at the space you hold dear. Like the world of martial arts is quite an anchor to that whole side of the world.
Yeah.
In terms of being respectful. Like I saw a reel the other day, like Singapore, there was a guy chucking off fucking suitcases that come off the plane. Singapore, the guy's stopping it, fucking over here. They're like that wing.
Yeah.
Like the cases are gone. You talk about how maybe that transcends into everyone's lives. It just creates a better space. What was it? The Olympics talk about the Singapore team cleaned the change rooms after they'd left, or the football team had, whereas everyone else was chucking shit around and just kind of left it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Muay Thai and spending time in Thailand and seeing how Muay Thai works compared to other, I'd say, okay, compare boxing or the UFC. And you have all the trash talk in boxing.
You don't get it in.
You don't get it in traditional Muay Thai, no.
Right.
And you would literally have two opponents sitting next to each other, waiting to walk out into the ring. Like, whereas in other discipline or other sports, they're in different changing rooms. I get it. It's about like the Western way of martial arts is entertainment, right? Yeah. And people want a backstory. They want to see Conor McGregor build up over 6 weeks with Jose Aldo when he knocked him out. And that was a spectacle, of course.
Mystic Meg, mate, and he knew it.
Exactly.
And that shot when his fist's there and he's looking at it, you're like,
but nobody wants to really see in the fighting game two guys that are that love it. They like each other. The whole build up, they're respectful about it. It doesn't put bums in seats.
No.
And I think that's where
we're going wrong this side of the world, right? Which I quite like what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
It's trying to encourage people that, you know, you don't have to be, like I said before, you don't have to be an asshole to be someone who knows how to look after themselves, but look after other people as well. If you're walking down the street and you see someone's getting robbed or assaulted or something, you can step in.
Yeah.
But be especially with these young men as well, trying to teach them, if they haven't got this father figure and they're coming in the gym,
some tolerance,
you give them some guidance. You give them you
give them the room to fucking develop into it.
Yeah. And they can take their emotions out on the pads rather than taking their emotions out on a teacher. Or
do you find people start talking to you a bit more? And I suppose when you get a bit knackered, your defences jump down when if you've got 40-ounce gloves on, maybe that feel like fucking a couple of kilograms.
I've had some sessions where they'll hit pads for a round and they'll have a cry.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, because they've got so much built up.
Yeah.
And I put a video out on my social media just when I'm talking to the camera, and I basically say, look, you know, I spend a lot of time with people one-on-one. It becomes a therapy session. You do become, in some form, you can become some form of therapist.
Yep.
Some people look at exercise as therapy.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can go to your barber or you can go to your hairdresser and you can have a. Do you know what? I knew he was going to do that. He was going to take his hat off, right?
What a fucking...
Don't
go see this guy.
But you had a barber at some point, I'm sure.
Well, I do from beard.
Yeah.
I don't cut that shit myself. I go to the barber more now than I did when I was there. Yeah, so I used to wear, not to derail this, I used to wear a wig, you know, the glue on ones.
Right, okay.
So I used to fuck about it, mate. I used to like pull it off and that. And the first time I put it off, they were all like, man, and now they just love doing the beard, man.
Okay.
So yeah, jokes.
But how many times you've been to your barber and you're just chatting to your barber?
Yeah, 100%.
And
Safe space.
Yeah.
Non-judgmental. Yeah. And quite disarming, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I suppose when you're with someone, I don't know, you can always tell when you're around people who can handle themselves. It's such a calming...
It should be.
Experience.
It should be, you know, and that's where I look at it is... Again, I'm not the toughest guy in the world. There's going to be loads of guys out there tougher than me. And that's one thing that, going to the UFC, right? And being next to John Jones. So when Shay was... Shay was the guy that fought in the UFC.
These are some experiences, dude. Do you know what I mean? This is like it. Do you know what I mean? So this is the highlight of my career. And it wasn't really... I wasn't the one in there fighting, but I was able to go away with Shay and travel and so on. So after his first fight in the UFC, he had the knockout night bonus. Then got the co-main event to the Rashad Evans and John Jones fight in Atlanta. He fought Roy McDonald. And again, if no one's here as a sort of UFC fan, he trained with, at the time, the welterweight champion, which was Georges St. Pierre, GSP. So, legend.
I was in Shay's corner for that, and I was staring at GSP across the cage. And at the time, he was a welterweight champ. But also, like,
and we talked about this about how he epitomised like all the right things I believe a mixed martial artist to combat sports. And still does, super
humble. And they say don't meet your heroes, and because they might not be who you want them to be.
Yeah,
we bumped into GSP afterwards. Nicest guy you wish to meet, just humble, down to earth. And what I found is, and I think it happens in rugby a lot as well, really, where the people at the top are normally the most humble. It's the guys that are coming on their way out, the tend to have the more egos. And we talk about the ego on, but the ego in the bad way.
Want to prove or a bit
Something to
still-
prove,
still
want to be
not
the
quite
loudest in the
settled,
room. Yeah.
overcompensating.
But we met John Jones, and at the time it was him fighting Rashad Evans, and we were going to Rashad Evans' gym. So everyone was slagging John Jones off, and also I think at this time he might have got popped for PEDs at that point, or it might have been before, or there was a lot of bad press about John Jones at the time, right? So we've gone to Rashad Evans' gym to train with him, and then so we've already got this bad idea of John Jones. Shay's then signing pictures next to him. We spoke to him, he's the nicest guy you wish to meet. Massive as well, huge.
Oh, is he?
Giant of a guy. That was when he was fighting light heavyweight. Now I mean, he's just retired. I mean, I'm a massive fan of John Jones. I know he's got his demons and he's done what he's done. But again, it just goes back to he was what I would class as the baddest man on the planet at that point. Well, there's probably some heavyweight guys, Brock Lesnar. This was the era of Brock Lesnar, and some,
you forget some of these, though,
and those guys, right? But John Jones at the time, light heavyweight champion of the world, absolute monster of a man, and he was a nice guy. You know, you don't have to be an asshole to be.
But let's be honest, I'm not condoning any of this. Look what the fuck they do for a living.
Yeah.
You mean? Oh, he's really bad. What? He's just caving each other's faces in for a living. Like,
You've
I'm
got to
not
be a
sure.
certain- yeah, you've got to be a certain person.
You know what I mean? You have, or at least have it in you that something's going to come out occasionally. I just think
Yeah.
it's wrong to put a lens.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't condone in some of the sort of stories and what she's done, the
fucking
hit
hell,
and
no.
runs and so on, you know. And
Oh no, nothing to do with that. But like the way, well, they talk about him in the ring. He could be quite dirty when there. That's some of the things I've heard. But you're like, well, they're fighting.
they're fighting, yeah.
I mean, he's just relentless. Like he's potentially trying to take my head off.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I find that with fighting, I disliked, and that's why I stopped doing point fighting at a young age and wanted to do MMA. It was because the distinction between people who, and you get it in MMA and amateur MMA, people who want to just out point you. And I was like, as much as skilled I might be, I'm here to fight. So my mentality going into a cage right now is
You're all getting finished.
you have to, like, I've got to imply some kind of damage to you, and my idea.
There needs to be a definitive end to what we're going to do.
Yeah, as I said, I'm here to put you away in a sense, to knock you out, to submit you or whatever. If it doesn't happen, then I need to be good over the 5 rounds, the 3 rounds, or however long. But my mentality isn't, I'm going to walk in there and I'm just going to kind of like try and beat you on points. I'm going to maybe just sit on top of you for 5 minutes and try and win the round. That's not the mentality at all, you know. It came apart to me. I fought a second time. It sounds brutal, but I cut the guy's eye, broke his orbital bone with a kick. It was gushing, and then I remember he then recovered from that, got on top of me, and in my head, I kind of just, it was a smell of blood. I saw his eye, like I had him in like the full guard position in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He was bleeding, his eyes cut, and my thought process was, I'm just going to punch you really hard in the cut. That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And it was a weird mentality, but you have to be when you're fighting. I can't just go, I'm going to recover from this. I'm just going to just win the round now. Not at all. Like,
you got to have that killer instinct.
You or them.
Well, the thing is, I mean, so at this point, you can see Noah's demeanour. You know, he's a very humble guy.
Super humble.
Yeah, he's not the sort of, you know. So for me, as a coach, you got to learn people's personality types. So do I shout at him when he's not doing things right, or do I whisper in his ear like, "Come on, mate, you need to, you know, pick this up, whatever," or do I need to get right in his face, slap him across the face, and be like, "Fucking, pick this up."
Yeah.
So obviously he fought in his first fight, and I cornered this second fight. I know he can do what he can do, right? He's got some of the weapons he can do. He can throw these spinning back kicks that I can't throw. He can do the splits between 2 chairs. Do you see what I mean? He's a traditional martial artist.
Got old Van Damme sitting here.
100%.
Van Damme did that, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, 100%. That's what he can do. And so I take him on the pads and we do a bit of sparring and stuff. And you don't really, competition is different to the training, to the gym, because you don't really want to harm or injure your teammates.
Yeah.
But when you go into the cage or the ring, you've got to then switch that on and go like, if I take this guy's head clean off, it's part of it, right?
Yeah.
And I watched Noah head kick this guy. And I was like, okay, I thought he was going to finish him then. And fair play to the guy, he carried on, right? And again, Noah ended up submitting him. And then I hadn't seen that in Noah before. I hadn't seen that switch. I hadn't seen it. And I was like, oh shit, like he's got it.
Yeah,
you know?
It's there.
And this kick at you, we practiced it in the warm-up room.
We did, yeah.
And the whole, there's the famous thing of McGregor practicing the shot that he knocked Holy Aldo with, and then he does it in.
He said he's overreached, didn't he?
Yeah, he said he's going to overreach, and I'm going to clock him, and he's actually practiced it in the warm-up room, right? So we're practicing this, like, you know, this head kick. Noah lands this head kick in the fight, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I thought that finished him. No, he ended up submitting him, And then they both got up, we go in the cage, and this guy's eye, now I've cornered a lot of fighters, I've watched a lot of fights. I've never seen someone's eye protrude so fast, so big. His eye was literally out here. He'd broken his orbital bone 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He got a cut on it, and like, I'd never seen so much swelling. Apart from like being like watching a fight on TV where they had like the hematomas.
The hematomas that come.
Yo Jacek, she had like a massive hematoma on her forehead.
Right.
I wasn't there to see that.
Yeah.
Seeing this guy's eye pop
Just
out the much it did, and just
Mate,
seeing,
that's the thing people forget. Like your foot, it's basically getting whacked with a bone.
literally.
So it's not like any soft skin, is it?
No.
It's like fucking you're getting hit with something solid and hard at pace.
And just going back to what you said then is like, you know, going from the idea of points fighting to go into the idea of like you're going to put someone away in there because you don't want to leave it down to the judges. You've got to finish the fight. Unfortunately, like I would never go in to personally try to hurt someone and injure somebody, but it's part of the game.
Yeah, it's
part of the game.
It's open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In order to get in there and and show your skills off, and like, you know, that's why I look at GSP as like somewhat of a martial artist.
Yeah.
You never really heard him say, I want to stop this guy, I want to end this guy's career.
No.
But you do get some fighters that do that.
Yeah, big time.
You know?
Which is selling seats. I mean, fucking hell, the world of boxing right now is top. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
On an amateur level, that's why, and not amateur, but even in like just in fighting in general, apart from when people are trying to settle, it's so respectful. All three of my opponents, my first opponent always wishes me well whenever I'm fighting. I wish him well. He's doing quite well these days and quite consistent with fighting. The week after, I broke this guy's orbital bone. I had a bit of a laugh with him because he was going on holiday and he basically just told me the story.
Oh yeah, he was going on holiday the next day, wasn't he?
So he basically told me the story about how they had to do like a proper check over on him
Before
he looked nothing like his passport photo with him.
Oh yeah, no, honestly,
Yeah,
this eye was. I wouldn't have. Did you ever get any photos of him like afterwards?
Not after, no. Obviously, I got there when we were in the ring together, in the case.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't want that. I wonder what that was like. Like the week of healing. Is that when the bruising comes out and all that? Like, it must have been brutal. It was a big.
So how many fights have you had?
So I had 3 amateur MMA fights.
Yeah.
And I won my first 2. I then was training for a third one. Picked up my first ever like injury in like life essentially, and that was like oh wow. We had to be sensible. You know, I could have gone in fighting with an injury, but we was like, look, I'm an amateur. How much is it worth?
Yeah, you don't get paid for this stuff, do you?
No, not you get like small amounts of like if you sell a amount of tickets, you get a small cut of that.
Okay.
But essentially, not much at all. So then we postponed that. But then again, I went for a brutal fight camp to do that. I got my cauliflower in that fight camp. That was obviously a massive hindrance to then. And then obviously I went back in, fought a third time. That was just sort of this time last year or just before that. And then I lost my last fight, just gone. But it wasn't a case of, this what sucks and stuff. I lost. It was a bit, again, it was like you said about earlier about losing. It was a pride thing. For me, it was more, I had a lot of family come and watch that fight and they saw me get TKO'd and it was like, I don't feel bad about losing. I understand that this is a part of the process. It's learning. I just kind of felt a bit crap because like, my family just
I get that.
TKO'd.
If you don't feel bad, you
something wrong with it.
You haven't got enough, desire to want to win.
To be in there. Right?
Yeah, to be in there. You don't go in there to come second. You don't play this sport. You can't just have a jolly. You don't just go and train and go, I'll take a fight just to have a jolly.
Yeah.
Some people go in and test themselves and they don't care if they they don't get knocked out, but if they lose a decision, they're like, well, at least I got in there and did it and I tested myself.
Yeah.
But apart from that, you don't want to come second in this sport.
Fucking hell, no.
No.
The same happened again. I got TKO'd by this guy, and then we sat in the medical room, and he basically sat there and thanked me because he said he had 3 or 4 opponents pull out, and I was the only one that took the fight. And
Nice.
We shook hands. I was like, you know what, like fair play to him.
Yeah, that's
He
good.
was a good striker. He was good.
Striker,
Yeah, he had some
sharp.
good hands on him. Yeah.
Like I said, it's all about respecting the game. I've never had it any other way. I like to approach my opponents before the fight in 2 different reasons. Reason 1 is because I think if I come across confident enough, I can go up to them and shake their hand and go,
Gonna knock you out in a bit.
Yeah.
If you like, I'm gonna knock you straight out.
It was my first amateur fight, and we walked past the guy in the corridor, and I literally I was really to myself. I was like, "Oh, right, mate." He was head down, walked off. I knew from that moment I'd won the fight.
Yeah.
My mentality for that first fight was, "It's my amateur debut. Like I'm doing this, I'm winning." And then it just confirmed it when I saw him, demeanor, head down, walking through the corridor, ignoring me. I was like, "I know that mentally
winning.
right now."
I'm in your head. Yeah.
And then on the flip side, in my third fight, and I don't know if I'd opened up to close friends about this. I don't know if I ever told you.
I don't think you did, though.
It was a mental game. I was fully prepared. I was in a really good place physically for this fight. And the guy was given quite a mysterious demeanour. He actually came across quite nervous. So again, I was confident, I was ready to do it. We stood across the cage. I do my usual thing. I jump in the cage. I do a bit of like a war cry, like a scream. I'm really like amped up and ready. I look over to him, and he goes from this person that I thought was really nervous and I don't think he put it on, because as soon as his name was called, he started grinning at me, and I was like, shit. I was like,
Really?
And those mind games play a lot.
Yeah.
They play a part. They do.
This guy's someone else. Like, he's not the person I bumped into the corner. He's not the guy that like I shook hands earlier. I was like, oh, looking forward to the fight earlier. He looked at me. He wasn't like intimidated by it. He started grinning at me, and I was like, shit.
He's here to hurt you, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah. And that was like definitely a little mental hindrance, because usually I find I'm very coachable. I'd say when it comes to fighting, I obviously you have to be free thinking.
Yeah, of course.
I take pride in the fact that I do listen to coaches, and like I understand from a coaching point of view, which is where I'm going into now, how important that is. In that third fight, I think like because I was in a weird mental space, I think come the second round, where after we had the little talk, I sort of blurred out. I was getting hit a little bit, and you kind of don't think, and then the coaching, whatever the coaches were saying, I can't remember it, to be honest.
Really?
Oh, it becomes a blur.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I can give Noah all the cues, all the instructions in the world. He's the one that has to process it.
Yeah.
And if you've got that tunnel vision,
you
know, where you can't hear anything, obviously everything's a blur, and everything's going at you 100 miles an hour, and then that minute you're sitting down on the stool and you're between rounds feels like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you're up again. It's like, okay, he hurt me in that last round. He's going to hurt me again. Like, all this goes through your head.
Yeah, and then that just compound interest, right? It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
And that's why, again, the mental approach to it. And we were talking the other day about having like maybe some fighters have a sports psychologist and that sort of thing, working with them, working on their mindset and their approach to it.
So I guess the good thing for anyone watching this is, like, especially if you're down in your area, is these are the things, I guess, when you're doing the alternative support stuff, when you're looking to use your experiences in the gym space to improve or offer I suppose a bit of a sanctuary for some open dialogue is probably
100% the word I've used before is a sanctuary. Is somewhere where, you know, again, you don't have to. What we're trying to do is change that stigma. You don't have to necessarily go into a ring or a cage to.
You clearly see from this chat, you boys are not into that level. It's like, how do you use this positively? Right?
Yeah, 100%. And you know, we're not turning down the idea of training fighters, 11 fighters, and going and representing the gym and so on. But we know how powerful it is.
Yeah,
this game is to helping people, to getting fitter. And like we said earlier on, you can get fit. You don't necessarily realise you're getting fitter. It's not you're just jumping on a treadmill for 10-15 minutes. But also, you know, it helps you carry yourself better. It helps you to be better. What we believe to be better humans in society.
Yeah, without a shadow. So, what's the week look like in the gym at the moment, Vagabond? Walk us through what's going on.
We've just come into month 4, and we at the moment are running 2 Muay Thai classes a week. We could have gone down the route of going, we're going to put as many classes on as we can, but then those classes don't get filled. So what we try to do is Tuesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. is Muay Thai. Open to pretty much all levels. Like we did try and differentiate the classes to having like foundation and all levels, but what we noticed is as soon as someone comes to a beginner's class, they have 3 classes and I'm not a beginner no more. I'm not going to come to that class. And you put an hour on dedicated to beginners, and then as soon as someone's done 3 to 5 classes, they're like, well, I want to go to the more advanced class now. So what we decided to do is launch a Muay Thai beginners course, where we're doing 4 weeks, 8 sessions. So it'll be after the Muay Thai class, the one we have now, 7:15 to 8:15. We do a 4 week, 2 sessions a week, so 8 sessions. Just a guide into how you stand, how you feel the shots, so you can come into the classes a bit more with a bit more confidence.
Yeah.
All we're looking to do now is as we're starting to gain more, we're building the brand. We're starting to get the word out a bit more that we do Muay Thai. Muay Thai is quite a. You see a lot of boxing gyms in Gloucester and Cheltenham.
Right.
Gloucester and Cheltenham very, you know, quite intertwined. Right. You could have a gym in Cheltenham, you get people from Gloucester. You could have a Gloucester gym, people come from Cheltenham, not that far away from each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boxing gyms. I'd say Gloucester and Gloucester's mainly MMA and boxing.
Right.
Muay Thai, when you start going about Birmingham and you start going down to London, like it gets bigger. Muay Thai is quite popular. You go into like Birmingham and upwards, and Muay Thai is a very, very popular sport. Down south, like you go down to London and stuff like that, it's a bit more popular sport. Where we are, it's not really that well known.
Okay.
So we're trying now to add more classes in the evenings, But in the daytimes, we're trying to be more of a centre where we can open up to more schools, kids, get them involved, help. What do you call it? Rehabilitation for some of these kids, giving them a mentor, giving them somewhere they can focus on.
Yeah.
It might lead them into becoming a fighter.
Yeah.
It might lead them into becoming a fitness professional.
Yeah.
You know, if they're sporty and they're 13, 14, but they're in a classroom where they don't get on well with sitting in the classroom listening to a teacher who has gone to university for 3 years, that is not on the same wavelength as them.
Yeah.
They might come from more aggressive backgrounds where they see violence all the time. You know, how are you going to reach out to a child who sees violence all the time? All they know to deal with their anger is to be violent.
Yeah, or to react.
Well, come and be violent in the gym then.
Yeah.
Come and hit the pads. Don't smash up my equipment. We said this yesterday. If they come in, they start smashing up my row machine and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because we got some broom handles in there. We use them for mobility.
Yeah.
To stretching routines. And the one guy's like, "No, I have to come down and do a risk assessment before we get going." He said the first thing I'd say is move those broomsticks. I think I'm gonna start whacking people with them. You know what I mean? So I guess we're sort of talking about the journey and what we want to become, where we're at now. Is I've always said from day one we want to be organic and not trying to get people into the gym with free promotional offers and free trials.
It's so, not to intervene, it's so refreshing. I don't think, and we spoke about this off camera, if you want to build anything long term, I think what you both have and the experience you've got is pretty unique.
Yeah.
How long have we been sitting here? What's the time now?
I've no idea.
No, just what's the time? No, we're still on. Yeah, go on. Just tell me the time. What's the time?
Hour and 10 minutes recording. You could probably set half hour before that.
I literally does not feel like it. Normally I'm sitting here, like yesterday I explained before you got here. Yeah, I don't fucking...
If he can do longer than half an hour, he's done well.
Okay. Okay, we'll take that then. Yeah, that's good.
It's probably true, and I'll start looking, just because the way my brain works.
Yeah.
And I think, like a couple of times, I forgot we were all still recording, but if you can do, like it's a shame something like that isn't here.
Yeah.
'Cause it would actually interest me. I talked about some of my experience of being in and around fitness since joining the army at 16, now we're in health and wellness brand. I won't lie, if I see another hydration brand pop up or fucking someone do a high, I'm like, and I really for it, but sometimes it's so exhausting seeing it, and I'm kind of in the space. I think it's been quite refreshing to see the medium of how you can use what you've done as a different vehicle for people to enter into.
Yeah.
So I think organic is the only way you do, and I think what you're trying to do is quite multifaceted as well.
Like you said earlier on, it's like if you're going to be creating content, you want people to buy into you as a person. You're creating the content; they got to be invested in you. We were talking about AI before all this kicked off, right?
Yeah.
Before we started rolling, and AI is going to be so impersonal now.
Yeah.
Like, I see people,
Trust will go.
Yeah, well, I've seen brands using AI to do the voiceovers and I'm like, where's the personal touch?
It's that moment. It's like we even used it, and I look, and as soon as I realise someone's using the teleprompter, I fucking switch off. I'm like, oh my god, what have I just done?
Yeah.
I really like the person.
Yeah,
what they're saying is really
If
good.
they're selling that BMW or selling a car, then there's maybe there's obviously there's different ways of marketing and stuff. But I think,
but when you're trying to be personable and you realise the impersonable nature of what they're doing is not unintentional, but they're trying to be polished.
Yeah.
And so we talked about this the other day with UGC. Everyone's doing it. UGC was user generated content.
Yeah.
It's broken.
Yeah.
Got people asking for, like we do quite a lot for a brand's outreach, try and grow the stuff, DMs and things, do affiliate schemes on TikTok. You've got people like saying with like 300 followers charging 100 quid for video.
Yeah.
Some of them come back, they're like, wow, but that's an advert now. That's just in a new shape. You know, an advert years ago with the cost of an agency, £1,000.
Yeah.
I just paid someone 100 quid. It's very low conversion, less than % of significance, of course, because it's so polished. What we first really liked is like Susan next door's told me this works. Oh, really? Cheers, love.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because we don't trust anyone. I think politicians have destroyed it. You see Anthony Joshua dripping in. He's got fucking Bose on, Adidas, whatever he's sponsored by, and a Range Rover, and it's like, well, you're just a walking billboard. I don't think there's much authenticity in it, really, from someone that's interested in building brands.
I'll tell you one thing that annoys me is seeing like Leo Messi, again, probably the GOAT of football. I mean, it's obviously if you watch football between him and Ronnie, but he's sponsored by Pepsi. How much do people actually think Leo Messi drinks Pepsi on a regular basis?
Nuts, mate.
Like, unless he does, because he is meant to be the most gifted.
But he probably still could do it and play football as well as he does.
Do you see when Ronaldo moved the Coca-Cola bottle away from the table and they lost they lost a massive stock value?
Yep.
And he's like, no, agua. Like he says, oh, water, drink water. Like this, you don't know drink this shit, drink water.
And then look at him as well for his age.
Oh, incredible athlete. You know?
Have you seen the documentary?
Which one?
Obviously, one of the one, if there's probably more, but I'm not massive. It's when he's injured.
Okay.
He's got a bike in the pool, and you're just like, how fucking clinical and consistent and diligent. Back to the things we said, but he's just done it for that long.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
And looked after his body, you know. And it's not to say everyone out there is going to, like, you know, be completely as strict as someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, but that's
because
why
he's in a different level, isn't he? I think his intentions away from his dad was like, I want to do it for his dad. He didn't have a great upbringing. I think there's things we have to remember. I think drive some of these. You could, and it's not unhealthy to do it, but some people would say they want to enjoy life a bit more. You're like, well, he's fucking enjoying life big time as well as being very disciplined.
Like, for example, how would you define your brand, like your personal brand? How would you define what you're trying to do?
Me personally, or Lyfelines?
Just you personally, because
that's a great one.
You created this, right?
Yeah, so. I want to be really authentic.
Yeah,
we had it with Will the other day, and you'll see this. I nearly cried. I think I'm not having a great time personally at the moment, just because it's more to do with me. Just probably doing too much. Things not where I want them, which is nuts.
In what sense?
I don't even know. I couldn't even quantify it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I just don't feel like it's going how I want it.
Yeah.
Probably just false. I need to reframe some things. I feel like I'm letting a lot of people down at the moment.
Right.
Which is, we could go on for hours. So what I've really come from sitting with the question that Will asked me is, I think one of the biggest gifts I've got is just who I am or what I've done.
Yeah.
And just probably being a little bit more laser focused with it, because I still do play. You know, I've got numerous businesses. I'm having to constantly get an advice, good advice from the people around me. Like, some of my business partners are fucking way more talented than I am, but it contradicts probably who I am. So personally, I just want to. I really enjoy doing this stuff.
Yeah. And the message you'd be giving out would be more around, because you're a healthy guy, right? You're about health and
I was. I think for me, it's knowledge. That's a good question. So yeah, if you go back to where I was when I was 16, I didn't drink for 2 years, didn't eat McDonald's for 2 years, like, was an athlete, like low 30s for a 10k.
Yeah.
I'd run the 3 peaks. We run Snowdon off the back of running the other two in an hour 58 up and down. Like, fucking hell, I couldn't get up here in an hour 58 now.
Yeah.
Well, I could, but jokes aside, it's what you said. But I raced motocross, was good at that. The best thing when I used to race, I used to get quick at the end of the race, 25 minutes in, mate, and I'd just be in another gear.
Yeah.
I was not necessarily technically gifted, but just getting faster. End of a race, when you're pulling 15 seconds a lap on someone, it's in 2 or 3 laps, it's a long way.
Yeah.
So I'm understaffed, but then also small. I said when I lost my hair, or fucking shaved it off officially and give up, so I look like a ginger fry's tough, I'd get a bit bigger. So I've gone through phases of what I would call healthy. We did some bloods the other day, and I definitely wasn't. I was close to having a fucking blood clot or heart attack, I think it was, so I had some blood taken. But there's things where I've neglected training, drinking too much at the weekend, sleep shite because I'm stressed. So there's things I know. So I'm talking around the topic here and being open on camera, because you've asked me a really good question. If you two are very, very fit at the moment compared to where I am, he's on another journey.
Yeah.
But I've always had it as an anchor. It's why Lyfelines exists.
Yeah.
Health and wellness is how I'm trying to position it. I want longevity. Full of a few niggles at the moment, but again, just not training right. When we trained with Will the other day, a few bits that are of just poor form, poor discipline. They're not game change. They're not going to do me any harm as such. But 42, 50 will be here before long. Definitely noticed that I've slacked off a month of cardio, probably missing the zone 2 stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking walk for me, or it's a slow jog to walk to be zone 2, zone 3 where we need it.
Yeah.
But certainly noticing getting tired. I can't work like till 8, 9 o'clock at the tempo I used to. So personally, I want to practice what I preach. I want to be quite authentic and honest. The brands I've got reflect who I am, and probably not preachers too much. I think you could. Probably in the past, but that was from a position of lack of knowledge. I think when I was trying to adhere, you'd learn from things that you thought had a good intention, and then think yourself the people were going to learn. And
well, that's why you're getting people in, right? Because you're having open conversations with people and realise that there's something you can learn from everyone.
And that's
like, what you're getting people in.
Yeah, this is what I really enjoy.
Yeah,
and I hope, because this one, like we said, we've just forgot how long we sit here. It's been really, really. I felt like informative, and there's nothing I can. And this is the other thing. So we'll talk on camera. We talked about you guys. You've already both got a brand without really probably accepting it. Is probably the word. I'm particular about the words we use.
Yeah.
And that's from how many years or whatever you've done.
Yeah, I trained martial arts since I was a kid, so I've probably had 14, 15 plus years.
I mean,
doing
that's
martial arts.
how many other people watching this have done something for 14 years?
Yeah.
And yours is even longer because you're like 60 years old, aren't you?
it feels like that. That's what he says to me.
What, you're 36?
36. Yeah.
So if you, like in my mind, I'm always quite, to remind myself things is probably what I'd say so much. It's like when you think, has anyone done something for 10 years?
Yeah.
Fuck, it's a long time.
It's a long time. Yeah.
But when you've done it, fuck 10,000 hours. I've done it for 10 years.
Yeah. And this is why it goes back to what we were talking about earlier on about sort of Ozempic and things like this, right? Is people want that quick fix they've been unhealthy for X amount of years, and then they'll drop that. I mean, I don't class that as being a healthy way of losing any weight, of course, but then losing that weight in such a dramatic short period of time, like, to me, there's no. I mean, I know you're saying it sort of suppresses the appetite and stuff like that. I don't know too much about it. I'm not quite oblivious to it.
I think we're in a learning place, mate, where you are. The pancreatic cancer is a cause, but it's fundamentally only because I've done so much with the diabetes stuff. It's like my business partner now is like a bit of a father figure to me. He's class. I worried the hell out of him. He's having hypos all the time. The mayor locally had a toe taken off.
Right.
Like there's a tread carefully campaign the Diabetes Safety Organisation has done now with lorry drivers.
Yeah.
1 in 3 over 55 have got diabetes.
Yeah.
1 in 6 lorry drivers, period, have got diabetes.
Oh, the things they put in their body to keep themselves going is crazy.
But again, like you say, when we did some work with the Road Haulage Association, I went down and we started talking to them. I'm a HGV driver. I've drove it. Fucking things put me to sleep. They're that easy to drive.
Yeah.
But you're trying to stay awake because it's monotonous and bored. So you have loads of caffeine, so you get a huge spike. You go in, you're bored. You're on the road for 12 hours a day. You eat on the go. The food choices are shite. It's why I've come up with, or want to come up with this. We're starting a meal prep business as well. So trying to help cure the things you see. But when you see these on such a like a huge scale, like what's the solution?
Yeah.
And then you start to see the nerves on the feet when you've got diabetes go. So I was like, what? I didn't know any of this. I don't know if you know this. So the circulation stops.
Yeah.
So you have your foot taken off.
Yeah.
Do you mean you fucking lose your foot from eating shit? Because when you put it quite crudely, like I am, and I do this on purpose, you're like, yeah, just from eating terrible food and doing very little exercise and putting on weight, then really starts to affect, blood, or the lack of exercise affects blood flow because the capillaries aren't getting as used. They talk about your calf as well being your second heart. Yeah. Because it pumps the lower end. Most people are sedentary, sit down. Yeah. It's crazy. So I'm all for it. And then you look at blood pressure. People got to put on statins. Well, it's not really. It's the excessive weight. You look at a skeleton on a big person, you're like, Jesus. Like if you did rugby, army used to do a lot of fireman's carries and stuff, like body weight exercises, running with people. Yeah. Like I know people that are 2 of me. Yeah. I couldn't fucking run around with me on my back all day.
Crazy, isn't it?
So I think heart, where's the heart tension? What does it do to your brain? So are you familiar now how Alzheimer's, dementia, technically type 3 diabetes?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, I've seen a lot more of that recently. Yeah,
I just think, and some of the other things as well, just on the topic of the health pieces, like we say, Uncle so and so died of a heart attack. No, he didn't. He died of diabetes, probably. Yeah. The numbers are there that suggest that should be the dialogue, but until we start speaking in that sense, I don't think it's going to cut through.
And that's what you're delving into, is more looking at diabetes and how your supplements can
so
help with that.
More to do with, because they wouldn't directly help, but it's majorly so as a health and wellness brand for Lyfelines, as in you are now using your brands to try and improve stuff. It's like, right, when I realise it's the biggest health problem we have, period. Mm-hmm. It's the biggest strain on the NHS. It's why everyone's overweight. And you go into America and you see it even more so. And we all know it's to do with the food. Yeah. So I'm like, right, I'm moving the lens. I'm thinking I've done PT, didn't want to scale it. It's monotonous. It's made me fucking depressed, if I'm honest. Right. Even though everyone's so depressed, like really affected me. Like I ended up tiny and just not training and disengaged with something that was a hobby. Yeah. So I moved away. Yeah. But I have landed in the space now where I'm trying to bring convenient supplements in formats that I say normal, I don't mean that offensively. Look at me, I'm caveating.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But it's weird response. Yeah. So we're about to bring a gummies range out. You've got a lot of people out there on the far end of the supplement game going, oh, fuck a gummy. Well, I don't care. Yeah. The aim of what we do is to help supplement someone's life that probably is not got the inclination to be 15 years of discipline like you've done, 25 years of what you've done, same for me. It's to do, right, we don't all have to be the same, but what my intention is to do is bring something positive that's like a small stepping stone that might make an adjustment. So that's it.
Yeah.
Through the vehicle of this, and then partnerships and relationships and getting to know people like you guys.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah. And they're saying you're getting the right people in to talk to. And like I said earlier on, you learn something new from everyone.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
And I think for me, so we're saying on camera, I'd like to somehow work with you guys. So we've already got, for anyone watching, we'll have our resident yogi.
Yeah.
So we also talk Monster Energy. I don't want to be the story, I want to be part of it.
Yeah.
I think I love what you guys are doing. I'm fascinated with the sports of mixed martial arts, combat sports anyway. The blended learning you've got, I think, fucking hell, our mindsets aligned, our morals and stuff are super aligned. It's like, right, how do we then support, what collab can we do? How do we perpetuate the message of what you're doing? What can we do that brings the two brands together?
Yeah.
That adds value to someone else? I think the tutorial stuff. So, yeah, I think if you're happy, I think people will see more of this.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, if this is what people are interested in, and you want to, as soon as you want to come down to Gloucester, Cheltenham, but if you
Cheltenham, I'll come down and just get folded up for a bit.
Yeah, no, just come down. I mean, because again, we're a private facility. We only open up when we got sessions.
Fine.
And people like that.
Yeah,
and I've worked in big gyms, I've worked in smaller gyms, but we are a 10 member per class max. Yeah, no more than 10.
So we'll put the link up. We'll put it in the bio anyway.
Great.
We'll put it up.
Yeah,
let's go check them out.
And even if it's a case of we start doing more online stuff where we do sort of people can join in with a workout.
Yeah, that's massive at the moment. We're doing some stuff with a girls motocross day. Sarah Dennis, give her a shout out. But I noticed on her social media she's like doing through the laptop, like someone's on a mat training and stretching and
The thing is now, and we talked about AI earlier on, is I think AI could take over the PT space because you get a lot of online coaches now. You get the VO3, the video creation, stuff like that. Or you go into a gym and there's a screen that's got its own virtual personal trainer there watching what you're doing, giving you feedback. I don't think that we're that far off that.
I don't. But not when you see the rate of learning.
100%.
It's hard to see the difference, isn't it?
I watched a story on Facebook. No, someone's story on Facebook the other day, and it comes up with these captions at the bottom. So the guy was squatting, and the AI knew it was a squat, and it was saying like good form. Like I could reply with a tab. I could press the tab and it said great form with a clapping emoji. Yeah. So it knows it's a squatting video, or it knows it's some sort of video like that. And so I believe AI will come in and take out. So everyone who's doing all the online coaching space right now, and they haven't worked one-to-one with clients, they've gone straight into the online space. I think your times are up soon.
Yeah, it could.
Because AI will come out and do all your data for you, or do all your macros, all your micros.
So this is the people who don't realise. Most of the famous people you're being coached by. I know one of the people that owns one of the biggest software businesses, and he's got 10,000 PTs globally. That's all still like AI doing it. That was happening last year.
That's crazy.
And people don't know. There's I know some quite popular people in this country. It's not they're making the programs at all.
Yeah. So what we're focusing on as well is saying that no, AI can't hold pads for you.
No, it can't. And it hasn't got all that experience, mate, of like the things that you two can do, the presence that you feel. You talked about all the subconscious cues. We're notoriously empathetic creatures. Do you know what I mean? You can walk in a room and most people can feel a mood.
Yeah,
that's pretty evident. Some people are really hyper tuned to it. Some people aren't. And I think that one-to-one human connection is going to become quite important.
It needs to be, yeah. With all the AI and all that, everyone's sort of attention spans decreasing, and everyone's sort of also their free time being diminished. Because if it costs more now, they got to do more jobs, whatever it may be. Or even if you do a job where you can't be yourself. You work at Starbucks and you've got to actually be a really nice person. You're not being yourself. You want to tell a customer to fuck off, but you can't. You know what I mean? Mate, hello, sir. Yeah, you shot in my face. Oh, no problem, sir. Let me sort that for you.
Let me just put with you being an idiot.
Yeah, so like the things like the gym is a place where people can escape, and like you said earlier on, is being authentic and being genuine.
Yeah.
Not coming across as someone that you're not.
Yeah.
But somewhere where people can come into your space and they can relax and be themselves.
Yeah.
And the more we spend time on AI, the more we're sort of just in our own. People go into the gym. I've done it before. You go into the gym, you got your headphones on, and you're just concentrating on what you're doing. But in the space in which we provide is, we'll have a class of 10, 9 other people in the gym with you. You're sweating together. You're getting a workout together, and at the end, everyone's hugging, clapping hands and so on. And
mate, I know exactly. We used to have a running club every Sunday. I used to get up and do it around we've got a little Ormond Hill up here.
Yeah,
it was like people. It's when King of the Hill come out on Strava just come out. It was just literally if I could fact to what it is. We all joke because everyone's getting on a little bit now between 30 to 45.
Yeah.
everyone still has a little chat. It's like 10 years on and people are still talking about a bit of vanity. There was only 10 of us on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Real different groups, like, because a few of them could barely run or jog for too far, so we just go at their pace, and when you double back.
Yeah.
We're doing sport.
Yeah.
Just introduced that, and it was quite inclusive.
Yeah. But creating that community, right? Creating that thing where you're...
A reason to go to your gym on a Thursday because my mate Steve's like, fucking come on.
A bit of accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not to do with you guys as the owners or,
And that's one thing that I've noticed since I had a CrossFit gym in 2013, and then I've worked in CrossFit gym. I worked in Singapore and so on. They already had their community, but I had to build a community at my gym.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that, and I've been able to replicate this at Vagabond, because a lot of people have been coming in and saying, like, so I got the feedback from people already saying, like, what you're building there is great. The community is great.
Yeah.
You want to go walk into a gym, or you want to walk into that sort of atmosphere, and you've never done anything before. You don't want to be like eyeballing up and down. Oh, who's this guy? I just don't
be proactively approached. How are you? What's your name? Remember,
no matter what your skill level is, you could be the toughest guy in the gym, and you still respect and say hello to the people that walk through the door.
Yeah.
Well, we're the best guy in the gym or the worst guy in the gym. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I hate that egotistical bullshit, basically, of
Yeah.
you're tough or you're strong or you're fit, so you've got to act a certain way. Like, no. You can still be nice to people.
Prop people up.
Yeah. 100%.
Look, guys, I've loved this.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone. Tom, what do you reckon? About 25 reels out of this bad boy. Look, it's been great to have you on.
Thank you very much for having us.
Cheers, boys. And that is a wrap on this episode of the Lyfelines Podcast. Massive love and respect to Craig and Noah, two warriors using the world of MMA or mixed martial arts for those, not just to train fighters, but to build a real sanctuary. Place where people come to fight their demons, rebuild their mindset and walk out stronger, both inside and out. This is why we're here at Lyfelines. Our mission is bigger than supplements. It's bigger than training. We're to support better health and wellness for all, both physically, mentally and emotionally, because real performance starts with feeling good in your own skin and having the tools to show up every goddamn day for yourself and for the people around you. If today's episode sparked something in you, please share it. Send it to someone who needs to hear it. Keep the conversation alive. We're building more than just a brand here. We're building a movement. One that backs science, strength and self-belief. No matter where you're starting from, I'm Dave Hamlet, and this is the Lyfelines Podcast. Stay sharp, stay solid, and as always, stay in the fight.